What is up, everybody? Welcome back to some more Nemesis Gaming League action. We're coming at you with the second matchup of the night. I'm joined by a good friend, co-caster. Really brought up our quality here. Glad to be back with him once again. How you doing, Charles? Or Gallium, whichever one you prefer.
You know what? I'll go with Charles. It'll just be easier for everybody. I'm doing all right, merely. Very excited for this matchup. I think I've been waiting all day. I could barely sleep last night because I was thinking about this matchup and, the implications it can mean for both teams. I mean, one side you have Ignite, who were your Season 7 champions, and the team that came second place, but some might say they should probably won it as well. So, I mean, just two amazing teams going off in week one, merely, and this is some exciting Nemesis Rocket League that we have on our hands.
Most definitely. And I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we did have these two face off. Like you said, grand finals of last season. Ignite came back from being the number 10 seed, the lowest seed ever, to win a grand finals, made it all the way through a bracket, which the odds looked like they were against them at all times. Even in the grand finals, we're down 3-1 to Whelps, but managed to turn around, managed to come back and take that championship. Now, Whelps going to be looking for some revenge, definitely, here in this matchup. Before we get into this one, real quick, we can talk about the players in a second, but I want to know, we already saw what happened in the grand finals, but what's going to happen in this one, Charles?
uh, you know, merely, I think I have to go Ignite on this one, and I'm gonna go Ignite in 5. I think it's gonna be tooth and nail in this one, and I think Ignite's just gonna barely take this one.
You know, you very well may be right. Ignite had a lot of close series last season, but we have two very different rosters this time, as we are going to get things underway already. Almost a kickoff goal there. You can already see the familiar face of C Money on the pitch was Prospect last season, now moving down to Novice as Novice boundaries were raised. But the only players actually on each team that are coming back are LNR Vita for Ignite, and Grebzy on the Whelps. So obviously your prediction's still keeping Ignite in the lead, but do you think these roster shifts are going to have any effect on the outcome of this series?
Oh, of course, it's gonna have an effect on the outcome regardless of who you put out there. But I will say, Vita on the Ignite side of the ball is a very slept-on player in Novice, and I don't think a whole lot of people just realize how much talent he really has. And I'm excited to really see him shine here. And Grebzy on the other side of the ball wasn't talked about enough on the Whelps. I think he's that notable third man for them last season. Really an excellent player, and I'm looking for him to really do some damage to this all-familiar Ignite team.
It's hard to disagree with your take here. I mean, LNR Vita, we talked about him a lot last season, but he was somewhat overshadowed by the likes of Rooney on Ignite. He's already looking to get things off fast here in game number 1. So we still have an equal score line so far, but in Novice, you know, it's not the Novice League we quite remember, but the tides can still shift quickly. Plenty of opportunities for both teams thus far, but none capitalized just yet. Grebzy gonna try to take this one out of the corner. Missing the touch out. That'll allow C-Wink free possession. Gets it off the backboard. This could be a huge shot. It's just off target. Not able to convert just yet. Here comes LNR Vita, but he was last man. Now it will be the Whelps who have an opportunity here. Grebzy going up for this one, but bats it away. C-Money off to the side, trying to get something going, trying to get a center ball, but a little bit overzealous perhaps. Is this one going to slowly roll into the back of the net? And it will be Ignite who strike first.
What I've noticed from this Ignite team, as C-Wink just gets a pass all three, is they've been constantly applying pressure to that Whelps defense, and I think the Whelps got a chance, and I think they got a little too greedy in that offensive zone, and I think that's why all three of the players were at the spot that they were at. And a really unfortunate goal to start us off here merely is another one gonna slip through by Quackbot, and it's a tie game.
That's a beautiful redirect from Quackbot there. It's been a while since I've seen this name in the league. Love to see him come back just right off the kickoff, taking advantage of the fastball, keeping the momentum on it, and Ignite just wasn't prepared for a shot to come out that quickly. You still gotta be on your toes. They might have, you know, relaxed a little bit with Whelps shooting not being quite on point, but here comes another one from the Quackbot, and he's gonna put another one hold. He's not missing a shot right now.
I think Quackbot at this point is just going to put the whole team on his back and say, you know what, guys, I got you. Putting two beautiful shots on net. And if this continues, I think the Whelps have a really good chance of taking this game one.
You know, it's been a long time since I've seen anyone use the breakout in a competitive game of Rocket League, but it seems like one of those cards which in the Novice League, I mean, you see it here already, Quackbot able to just put very powerful shots off, not even flipping into them. They are very tough to save with how well they were shot as well. Of course, all the credit goes to Quack. Here comes Grebsy looking to put another one through. The LNR Vita with the control. He'll have the 1v1, but flicks just a little bit too early. He'll still be able to get it around. This could be awkward on the side of the Whelps, but they'll be able to get it out fairly effectively. As 2 minutes remain now, and after Ignite seemingly having the majority of the pressure, all it took was those 2 quick shots, and all of a sudden, Whelps are in the driver's seat here.
I think those 2 goals are going to be extremely important for the Whelps down the road. If you have that confidence and that poise, I mean, everything just feels like it's going to be your game. It's going to feel like it's going to go your way. And I think that's exactly how the Whelps are pretty much going to be expected to feel right now, because they are looking amazing in the offensive zone. And they're down actually in shots. The Ignite has 3 shots, Whelps only have 2. But the shots totals do kind of lie here, as Speed almost puts one in. But Whelps have just looked really good in the offensive zone so far, and I think they're winning those midfield battles and really just beating Ignite to the punch at this point, merely.
Definitely beating them in the shot accuracy department so far. 2 for 2, not looking too shabby for Quackbot. And Ignite, we've seen it from LNR Vita. We talked about him, and we've seen the flashes of mechanical excellence from him. And here he will finally get a chance to put one through. He's been taking a few shots, none come through, but this one will.
A beautiful pass from Tripwire. I mean, just absolutely pinching it there, giving Vita the perfect opportunity to shoot it. And I don't think that was a savable ball there. And Vita just puts a beautiful shot in the back of the net to equalize this game.
He definitely seems like he's probably the fastest player in this lobby so far. He's been, like I talked about already, showing off some of those mechanics, finally getting a chance to use those to get or regain the advantage in this one, but still 2-2. Plenty of Rocket League left to be played. The center trying to come through here. Tripwire clears this one out. Vita going to pop it over one. That could be a beautiful pass, and it will be Tripwire. And these are not the pass plays you're used to seeing in the Novice League here.
No, and especially from a team like Ignite, who last season was offensive, but more of the solo play type. I'm excited to see them now. They're really giving it to each other, and I've noticed they're starting to rotate around each other, which is something I really like to see. And I can't pick out one player on this Ignite side that has looked really that bad. I mean, they've all looked really solid, and you know, if you play better as a team, it's gonna probably get you a win here. And they're up by 1 with 30 seconds remaining. I'm excited to see how this game 1 plays out.
All they have to do is still be wary of those Quackbot shots, as he got a fake on one there. Didn't have enough time to take possession, but still, I like that play. I like that idea from the Whelps. Trying to break through in these final seconds. Now only 12 left to go. A nice little pop. This could be huge, but Tripwire does not get tripped up on the play, and he will stay stalwart on defense. Ignite managing to get out, and this should be game, unless there's some very late game shenanigans. Quackbot trying to keep it up. Still on the ball. The dunk will come through, but Grebsy should be able to keep it up here. Brings it up the wall. Sea-Wink opting to pop it as well, just trying to get out of possession, but the ball won't go down. This one's still off the bat, and it will finally touch the ground. Ignite manages to hold on, and they'll take a game lead, but it was a pretty close one here.
It was a pretty close one. You have to give credit to where credit's due. Quackbot absolutely popped off that game. Just a beautiful game by Quackbot. Those 2 goals, definitely, even though they didn't win, those 2 goals are definitely still present in the mind for that Whelps roster. And you know, if Quackbot keeps continuing how he's playing, I think the Whelps have a really good chance to maybe take game 2 from it. An Ignite roster who, I'm noticing this now, it's so close to each other in points, which I think is really remarkable and something that you're going to want to see if you want a solid team play. And team chemistry is very important here in Nemesis, and Ignite is utilizing it to the fullest right now.
I'd have to agree, and I think one of the main differences I'm noticing from this Ignite roster, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you were on the team last season, but it seemed like last season Ignite was very focused around playing around Rooney. and kind of letting him set the pace. I mean, Rooney was all over the pitch. He didn't necessarily have the best rotations. He would cut quite a bit, but he was fast enough and mechanical enough that you guys would just try to adapt to how he would play and make the best plays that you could around him. But this Ignite roster seems much more solid in the department of getting everyone utilized. They're setting each other up for passes. They're creating space where they can. And if they can keep playing like this, they're going to be a scary team, not just in this series, but in the entire season.
And merely, I am here for it. I love me some good team chemistry. But on the other side of the ball, this Whelps team is looking pretty hungry for this game two so far. And I'm excited to see how this game two changes from game one. Obviously, Whelps are going to have to adapt here. I'm curious to see how they think that they need to adapt to this Ignite roster.
I'm also curious for that. You could see there, Grebsy was playing a solid third man in the last game, but he was suffering a little bit in terms of game impact in the points department. Kind of seemed a little bit lost at some points. If it weren't for Quackbot just slamming home two beautiful shots, wouldn't have been much at all for the Whelps. And I'm also curious in your thoughts on that, Charles. I mean, how do you think they do need to adapt to try and deal with this Ignite chemistry that's coming at them?
Obviously it's going to be a little tough. You know, Ignite looking so good playing together right now. But I think the key here is, I always say this, and I think it's an important thing that needs to be said over and over again, is if you win those midfield battles merely, it's going to be so much easier for you. And I don't think that's the immediate fix. But if you want to fix it in the long run, that's exactly what you're going to need as a shot almost slips by there. You're a little close, sweat on the brow there. But as I was saying, you know, you have to win those midfield battles and, you know, get into the Ignite zone, scare them a little bit, you know, make them work for whatever goals that they're going to, you know, get on you. And, you know, as another shot coming out here. But yeah, those midfield battles are going to be extremely important in this series.
I gotta say, so far, I am extremely impressed, I'll say it again, by what Quackball is bringing to the table. The only reason that ball from Ignite did not go in the net before, and Grebsy almost able to find the counter. Whelps starting to get up in the face of Ignite a little bit, like you said, trying to find some pressure of their own, which was sorely lacking in the first game. It's that meaningful pressure that you need. You can't just drive the ball close to their net. You have to be attacking. You have to be putting these shots on target. Here comes Grebsy looking to do just that. Can't get past everyone, but the ball will be sent back to Quack. A little bit of an awkward exchange in the corner here. Looks like it will favor Ignite. But Grebsy will be able to get that one. The dunk still not leading to much for Ignite, and it's just like the first game. Once again, not much happening in the first in terms of score, but plenty of little micro battles being won in corners. Whelps starting to push back against this Ignite pressure, starting to push back against the oppression that they felt with Ignite just all over them in the previous game. Well, in the meantime, Ignite trying to reestablish that dominance. Here comes C-Money. Can't quite find the clear once again. Ignite starting to get a foothold once again in the position of Whelps. C-Money gets dunked off that ball. That's high off the backboard. Could be tough, but the read is extremely tough. And even though we are 3 minutes in, still no score just yet here. I'm wondering, what's going to be the icebreaker here? What's going to be the difference now that it seems that Whelps have solidified their defense?
I think the icebreaker is going to be those solo plays. Both teams just look incredible right now, just playing off each other, playing beautifully. But I think I'm going to need to see a solo play from one of these. And, you know, I wouldn't mind a solo play with a little bit of bumpage. I'm not going to lie, a little bit of demo interaction. And, you know, because I do love demos. I think there is definitely a demo meta going around right now. And I think both teams need to utilize that meta and see if they can't make it work for them.
Yeah, I think anyone who's played more than half a ranked game in the last season can attest to that demo meta, as it is rampant. And something that I think we see mostly in the higher leagues when teams can't break through. They start to realize that if you can't go through them, then take them out of the equation. But neither team here are really opting to go for that route. Must not have very many demo-heavy players in the lobby because everyone's just kind of all over the ball as Grebsy will manage to get one here. The defensive Ignite put in an awkward spot, and Whelps will be able to strike first.
Big body Grebsy just doing it all himself, passing it to himself, putting it down, and that is the solo play that you need to get back into this game. Last game it was Quackbot twice, and now it is Grebsy here, and such an important goal for this Whelps team.
Important indeed, as now only 48 seconds left. It's Ignite who have to push for a goal here. They had so much success just pressuring constantly on the Whelps in game 1. This time it's not working as well. They still have shots. Still 4 shots to their name, but it's the Whelps who are striking first, and they are striking hard. 2-0 for the Whelps in game 2.
Oof, Grebsy's getting hot. It's getting hot in here for Grebsy. It's a beautiful shot trickling in, and what I'm noticing for this Whelps roster is everybody's stepping up. You know, next game, if this pattern keeps continuing, who knows, C-Money might have a monster game. But it's just looking really good for the Whelps right now. 30 seconds left, and they're looking like they're going to take this game too, merely.
Barring any late game antics once again, 20 seconds is not much time, especially when Ignite have been struggling a little bit. LNR Vita been missing some reads, and Quackbot been hitting some fakes. Almost gets that one through. I love these mind games coming out here. They seem to be quite effective, just messing with Ignite, who does like to get aggressive and go for dunks. There will be one goal there for Ignite. I think that was a forced own goal. I don't think it was going wide, but Ignite, a little bit of life in the final seconds.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Ignite. I think it was a little bit of a misplay by C-Money. I don't think that was intentional, but nevertheless, Ignite definitely needing that goal. And I have to say, it was a good team play from Ignite, and that's what I've been noticing in this series. You know, regardless if they lose this or not, they're still looking really good as a team. And you know, if it's now 1-1 in the series, it basically comes down to, you know, solo plays or team play at this point. I mean, because that's basically what these two teams are bringing to the table. And I want to ask you merely if you see any other trends with these two teams.
Yeah, it seems like the Whelps really changed up this one. Like I was talking about Grebsy in the beginning of the game. He looked a little bit lost in game number 1, but this one he really stepped up. He managed to find his footing, and he came out scoring the only 2 goals for the Whelps. And it really felt like he was much more of a factor here in the rotations on the defensive and offensive side of the Whelps. I know you talked about him being a third man, but actually right now he's looking like more of an offensive player, as he's been able to hit those shots, been able to get those dunks on the goal line when it's necessary. And Ignite, in the same sense, well, in a different sense, they still had some pressure in this one. They had shots on the board, but they were lacking that same accuracy. And what I'm fearing for Ignite, so far at least, hard to tell off of 2 games, is that it seems like their playstyle is very dependent on if they can convert on more difficult opportunities. Like I was talking about, LNR Vita had a couple of misplays off the backboard where if he could have gone a touch even or scored the ball, then it could have been a completely different game, but they seem to have a higher risk factor than the Whelps right now.
I honestly think the reason Ignite was so successful last year is you had the scare factor from Rooney. You knew Rooney was a mechanical god, and you knew that he would just take these incredible shots. And speaking of incredible shots, Vita's just gonna put it in the back of the net, and it's now 1-0. Holy cow!
And there it is. I mean, I was just talking about these are the same kinds of opportunities, albeit this one a little bit easier of a read for LNR Vita, but he puts it home. These were a couple shots he missed last game. He puts it home, and all of a sudden Ignite are up. Obviously, you cannot give him opportunities like that if you want your scoreboard to stay untouched as LNR Vita. Now he's getting a little bit of momentum, and Ignite up 2-0 all of a sudden.
And, you know, what I was going to touch on earlier was, you know, you had Rooney who would just scare other teams with his pure skill. And I was going to say Vita needs to step up and assert himself onto the Whelps, make them fear him a little bit. And, you know, that's what it's looking like right now is, you know, 2-0, obviously looking good. But we'll see if this Ignite defense can hold up and not allow a goal here at the beginning stages of this game.
Yeah, I think he may have heard your internal monologue there, as he is definitely making his presence known. His confidence has seemed to increase, which I think is I think that's fair after scoring 2 goals early on. Ignite with an early advantage, and they're going to be looking to take this to a 2-1 series lead. There's plenty of time left, still over 4/5 of the game to go, 4 minutes and some change. Plenty of time for the Whelps to try and make something back. They had good pressure last game, they just can't get back into that same trap of getting trapped in their defense. They have to come out and make plays. This quick Quackbot here trying to get it off the backboard. We'll get high, but it's only to an Ignite player. C-Money with a nice pinch, but he has to try to follow it. He will follow it well. is sent back once again, and this is the sort of thing that Whelps want to avoid. Arvita now here getting a demo, getting a couple bumps, getting a bump on the defending, and that really could have been a goal there, wink, but it will still be a goal actually as Arvita closes it up. Now Ignite starting to get that pressure back, and it's not looking great for the Whelps in this game 3.
Ignite looks so fast right now, and every member of that team right now just looks so quick, and they keep attacking the Whelps. And I think not only Ignite needs to continue doing this, but I think if the Whelps want a chance to get back into this game, I think they're gonna have to start being aggressive and quick, and take those shots. You know, really start to scare the Ignite defense. And you know, I keep talking about, you know, being scary, and I think that's actually an important factor, especially in Novice. You know, teams will definitely like plan out how to deal with a player if they feel like that player is a problem, or the team is a problem, or that aspect of the game is a problem. And I think both of these teams need to develop a problem for the other team, if that makes any sense at all, merely.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, especially, yeah, in the lower leagues when you come across something that you're not used to, something that interrupts your flow of thought, that interrupts your play and becomes an issue, then you have to spend that much more time thinking about the issue while also trying to develop a way to play around it, which can't be easy when. Oh no. Oh, that's painful. That one, should not have been issue, but they'll gift Arvita the hat trick, just out of goodwill.
Yeah, you know, you were mentioning he got a hat trick. I think that's actually his fourth goal. So, you know,
Oh, that is his fourth goal. Oh well.
he's looking a little dangerous out there for the Whelps, and definitely presenting a problem for them. If they end up pulling this game 3 out, this game 4, Vita is definitely going to be a main focus if this keeps continuing to happen to the Whelps.
Yeah, and with just under half the game to go, it's not looking great for the Whelps. It's not impossible, but we haven't really seen the scoring potential from them be able to get 4 goals that quickly, at least in this series so far. Although that's a beautiful redirect. Oh my goodness. Grebsy out of nowhere with 0 boost clangs one home.
That was beautiful. That was a work of art. I mean, tears to my eyes right now as Grebsy just gonna put it top shelf, and that's another beautiful shot by Grebsy. You know, last season he was that third man, and he was a dangerous player, but he was more, if my recollection is correct, more of an assist kind of third man. He'd usually just pass it to the other players. He wasn't really keen for taking too many shots. And now that I'm seeing how good of a shooter he is, I'm kind of curious why he didn't take more shots against us. I mean, he's looking really great out there for this Whelps roster, and you know, he's looking like a star in the making here.
Definitely seeing some potential on the side of Grebsy. I didn't even expect him to be there. I just switched to his perspective all of a sudden and see the ball flying into the other team's net. I don't know if it'll be enough to win them this game, although Quackbot coming through. He's been a shooter as well this series, and he'll put another one on the board.
Quackbot, an amazing shot. Just, I mean, placement over power right there. As he's just gonna put it bottom left. And I was mentioning all this about Grebsy, but you know, not to take away from C Money's pass at all. I mean, just beautiful right to him. And it's now 4-3 for Ignite. And if I was on Ignite, I'd be a little scared here. You know, the Whelps have some momentum, and you do not want them scoring any more goals. Not even if they have a chance to win this game, but for momentum going into the next game.
Yeah, Rocket League, of course, always a mental game. You're always looking for that edge, not just in the physical, but the mental department as well. We saw it. Even, there was that slight whiff on the save from the Whelps that we won't talk about too much. But when you're getting pressed back by a team like Ignite so much, it can really cause your mental to deteriorate, even to the point where you start making mistakes that might be uncharacteristic in other series. We've seen here, though, that they've been able to bounce back. They've been able to at least get 2 goals back. And even though it's not impossible to come back in this game, they can't be thinking too heavily about that. They just have to be thinking about how to move forward, not only in this game, but the series. Plenty of Rocket League left to be played. Still a close series no matter what. That said, though, 30 seconds remaining. Ignite going to try and keep pressing this issue, going to try to keep pressing Whelps back into their own half. They don't want to allow them any opportunity for a miracle comeback. With the time ticking, it seems like it's more and more unlikely. 13 seconds now. As this one sent over Ignite. Big clear over Grebsy, and that should have just about secured it. LNRvita probably going to look for one more here. He's not someone who's usually happy with any number of goals that he can score in one series, but he's got to be proud of himself for this one. 4 goals for LNRvita, and it's enough to take down Whelps in game 2.
Yeah, beautiful play from Vita. And not only Vita, but the whole Ignite roster really came together once again. We've noticed how good they are as a team. And if you have that one standout player plus 2 solid guys behind him, it's going to look really good. And I feel like Ignite is one of those teams who can have not just one standout player. I mean, Trip and Seawink can both be as lethal, even more lethal than Vita, and still contribute and have those 2 other guys. I think Ignite is looking really good throughout this series. But on the other side of the ball, Whelps looked kind of scary towards the end of that game. I was liking what I was seeing, especially with that pass play from C Money going over to Grebsy there. But Whelps just really good at shooting. That's what I've noticed. I mean, they've really just. I mean, that's just the plain and simple answer. They're just really good at shooting, and that's such a good thing to have, especially if you're a roster that wants to be successful and wants to win. You have to have a team full of shooters, and so far the Whelps are a team full of shooters merely.
And that's one part of the equation. The other part is being able to set up opportunities where you can take those shots. And right now, Whelps just aren't really getting enough of those. They have to try to keep up this pressure, and when you're backed into your own half because of Ignite's pressure, it can be quite difficult, but it is possible. We've seen plenty of opportunities for them. They've already taken 1 game this series. Let's see if they can take a second and send us into the first game 5 of the season. As things get underway here. Already off to a hot start. Seawink gonna get this one clear. Quackbot will barely get back just in time. Another defensive effort will keep one out of the net. Now Ignite, a little bit awkward in this corner. They've overcommitted. We'll see if the Whelps can do anything to capitalize off of that slight overcommit, which left quite a bit of awkward space in the other half. At the team pinch from Ignite, they're sending 2 players quite often to the ball, but right now it seems to be working out just fine. The Seawink off the corner. This will be an awkward one to read for both teams. Sometimes those ones can go either direction. Quackbot on the other end, still keeping up the speed, still keeping up with the pressure, and C-Money tried to take the shot, but couldn't quite get there. The demo coming out from Tripwire will open up more space. LNRvita going off the side, might try to get this one around. Won't quite be able to, but the pressure's still there. That one almost on target. Quackbot narrowly saving it. He is just holding it down for the Whelps right now on defense. Already 2 saves, but nothing for each team yet. Seems like we're in yet another sort of stalemate position where the next person to score, the next team to score, might just be the one who ends up taking this game.
Yeah, the next team to score is definitely looking really favorable here. As I know Ignite has such a good offense right now, but let's shout out the Whelps defense there. It's a little bit of a fortune miss. I don't think he had boost there. The Whelps defense has just looked absolutely outstanding. I mean, so far in this series, just holding off Ignite, and I think having a good defense is key. And I look to see for the rest of the series. If this series goes to a game 5, this defense continue to suffocate Ignite's chances at any sort of goals.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of a pattern. I mean, last game, LNRvita was just able to come through very quickly early in the game, get that 4-goal advantage, just scoring goal after goal. This game hasn't really had any of those opportunities. Whelps have been playing much more conservatively with their momentum, being able to get back, but that's a huge demo from LNRvita. Trying to open up some space, but the team bump will make that space mostly useless. Grebsy can't make a touch here, but C-Money still with control, trying to get this one centered, and he will get it centered, but Tripwire there to take control. This one will go off the side. Quackbot going for the redirect, actually, off of the double touch. Wasn't quite able to make it happen, but Whelps are still staying in this one. It's a 1v1 now, though. LNRvita trying to fake him out. Won't be able to score off of it, but perhaps doing a little bit of mental damage. Whelps remains strong on defense, although they're going to have to hold on a little bit longer. C-Money getting this one through, a huge 50 on his end. This one breaking through Ignite, but still nothing for either team here. And I mean, what is it going to take for one of these teams to be able to score a goal here, Charles?
I think I said this in game 3. I think it's going to have to come down to solo play at this point. I mean, that the team plays are going out there as Grebsy looking for a little bit of a solo play himself. The team plays have been going out basically this whole game, and I think, oh, never mind. See, Money, as I was gonna say, you need a solo play, just doing it all himself.
He just puts himself in the perfect spot to intercept that touch across. Manages to place the shot perfectly. I think if that was directly on target, it was probably saved, but he managed to hit the post and whittle the ball in, which intentionally or not was pretty much the perfect play, although Ignite on the other end might be scoring here. It just goes off the post, and that was a completely free shot.
Oh.
Ignite, they had the opportunity there. That should have been a tie game, but instead, Whelps make off like a bandit.
Yeah, they make off like a bandit there, and that is a goal that should have definitely happened there. I honestly don't know how that didn't happen, but a chance that Ignite is going to want to take back here soon, merely.
They most definitely will, and they do have a little bit of time to recover from that and try to win this in 4, but not that much time as more more plays coming through. Grebsy not quite fast enough to the shot, but that was dangerous once again. LNR Vita can't get any height on this air dribble. He's sent back once again. This could be huge though. This one up top, Grebsy meeting that, and the backflip from LNR Vita. I think if that one was just let going, that could have just rolled into the net.
Yeah.
But a little bit of ambition there from the Whelps. Hard to blame him. And time is running out for Ignite. They need something now. LNR Vita waiting for the boost. It'll spawn right after he leaves, and Disaster all of a sudden keeps striking. They'll have one more chance at this. C-Money getting this off the backboard. Tripwire will get it out. Now it's Wink
2v1.
Low boost, but he can't get the ball on top of his car. He'll try to have to muscle this one in. He can't do it. Tripwire off the side. LNR Vita keeping it up, and this could actually be huge. This could be a double touch, but it's just off, and Ignite. So many opportunities at the end there. This really felt like a game that should have at least gone to overtime, but at the end of the day, Whelps holds strong, and we will be going to our first Game 5 of Season 8.
You know, and I hope my prediction's right. Ignite in 5, because, I always like my predictions to be right. I mean, who doesn't? But I think, honestly, a skill that players and novice particularly need to start developing is the skill to finish your shots, okay? It is a very important skill to have, and it's a skill that I had to myself learn how to get really good at, like hitting open nets, hitting the shots that you're expected to hit. Because if you become that consistent player, then it's so much easier for you to maybe like give your team that extra goal or two, or maybe boost your rank a little bit. And I think that's something that goes kind of like past people when you're thinking about like helpful skills in Rocket League. I think that skill could definitely help Ignite here as they head into game number 5.
Towards the end there, it seemed like they just kind of needed to slow down. Like that one opportunity, which was a blatant misplay, really should have been a goal if you just take a breath there and realize all you have to do is hit this on target. There was one person in net, but he wasn't very close to anything. As it looks like on this one, we will actually be getting a reset. Looks like one of the players did not join up.
Oh.
And a little bit of a timeout here for both teams. I'm not sure which one this favors. But so far, the pattern seems to have been Ignite with their pressure, just sort of stepping on the neck of the Whelps, and on the other end, the Whelps rising back up and pushing back and not letting Ignite get anything. I'm curious if the pattern continues. This should be an Ignite pressure game, but I'm not sure if that pattern will continue here, Charles.
If the Whelps defense was anything like a defense in football, it'd be probably considered the best defense of all time. Up there with the Ravens and the Seahawks when they had their good defenses. Their defense is looking absolutely pristine out there, merely. And I honestly, I love the defensive rotations out there. And I've always considered Grebsy to be like a third man, but he's playing like a third man and then some. He's playing like a second man as well. And C-Money's looking good out there. I mean, he's just given his team like all these passes, and who can forget about Quackbot with all these shots? This Whelps roster is looking destined for this Game 5 win after a disappointing end to last season. I think the Whelps finally have a chance to show Ignite, what they're truly capable of. But on the other side of the ball, Ignite just looking absolutely outstanding on offense, but yet again, just you need to finish those shots. And honestly, I could not pick out a single single bad player from Ignite. I mean, they all look very good, and they look like they fit around each other well. And even if they lose this series today, here now, I think they are definitely set for the future, and they're looking pretty good moving forward.
I would have to say that about both of these teams, both looking extremely solid, at least by the standards of the first game of the series that I've seen. Still left to see how the other novice teams fare. With the MMRs being raised, we probably will have some intense competition, if I had to make an educated guess. But some good things out of both of these teams so far. Like you said, the Whelps defense, when they have been able to shut down Vita, has been excellent. The one player that I really want to see step up here, he stepped up big in the last game, and I really felt like that made a difference. That was C Money. He's been, a little bit off in some of these exchanges I've seen, but when he's been there and when he's been effective, it has made all that difference for the Whelps. They really need to try to play as a team because Ignite certainly are playing as a team right now, and if the Whelps can't rise up, then things might get a little bit difficult for them here.
Yeah, I fully agree. They just need to have everybody step up here. It's not one person stepping up for Whelps. I think every single member of their team has to step up. And you mentioned a player who you want to see perform and who performed well last game. Was C Money in your opinion? I am going to go on the other side of the ball and say Tripwire. I've noticed his flashes. He's had flashes of talent looking really good. And I expect him to step up big here for his team. And who knows? Maybe they'll both step up. But, I'm just excited for some Game 5 Rocket League, baby. We're back here in the Nemesis channel, merely. I know you're excited, and I'm so excited for some action.
We can only hope for the best. As we are well underway, Game 5 here now. 3:50 on the clock. Already a minute gone by, and we're seeing more of the same. So far this series, it's just been back and forth, back and forth. The pressure swinging to either side of the pendulum, but no one able to capitalize. And it's that tension that gets broken. That's usually what decides how the rest of the game will go. This first goal, so important. Whichever team scores it, you put at a massive advantage. And it's hard to say who it will be this time. How back and forth the series has been so far. And Arvita trying to get the air dribble, can't quite make it happen, but the pressure's still mounting for Ignite. Wink coming through here, but his third man has to be careful. And Wink will get off the ceiling, trying to get the touch. That could have been huge, but can't quite make it happen. Ignite defense will be scrambling to make it back. Vita can't make the touch there either. Looks like there might have been a little bit of bumpage, a bit of awkwardness in the midfield. So the play is slowing down now. Grebsy with the touch, just barely blocked away. Ignite holding on for now. But it's the Whelps who look like they're starting to carve out their own niche in this series. They're starting to get this pressure, and they're starting to look scary for Ignite here.
Yeah, they are starting to heat up a little bit here. And as they've started to heat up, I've noticed Ignite's defense is looking really good right now. I mean, they've really just been kind of suffocating the Whelps offensive pushes right now, and obviously the Whelps defense looking really good as well. If you're here for offense, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to get much of that. As this is a defensive battle, and it's going to be exciting down the stretch.
Never did I think I would see a defensive battle in Novice, but here we are, both teams battling it out. The armor holding strong for both sides so far, but the more time goes on, the more important this first goal becomes. Only 2 minutes left now, and still no one has bent or broken. Tripwire trying to change that, but he can't make the touch on this one. More awkwardness in the corner. C-Money gonna try to get it out, but there's an Ignite member waiting just there, and it's not who you want if you're on the Whelps. Rebsy will do well to shut that down quickly, and the redirect coming through. D-Money actually that time with a nostalgic redirect there, seemingly from earlier in the series, but this one won't quite go on target. Ignite has gone wiser as the series progresses. Wink will send this one away. C-Money off the backboard, looking for the double touch. Can he get this read? He gets it almost on target. Just going to be off, and so many near misses. I said he needed to step up, and C-Money might have heard me, because he is so close to doing some huge damage in this Game 5.
No, he's looking absolutely incredible. And the player who I said would step up has been looking good, but on the assist side of the ball, as here's a shot here, and Tripwire is going to put it in the back of the net, baby. Woo!
And there he is. We talked about him, and he finally steps up here big. Quackbot not able to be into the challenge. He'll be able to get that one around, scoring the first goal of game number 5. That's got to feel good. Now if you're Ignite, Just keep pushing, keep holding on to these defenses, and you will be just fine. But it's easier said than done with the Whelps on the field. 2 players from Ignite, double commit. They do manage to get a nice touch, but Vita can't really follow it. Trying to stay present, but the bumps from Ignite not going to be exactly where they want. C-Money trying to get to the 50 here. And the Whelps now on the back foot. They can't fall back into the same way of getting pressured by Ignite. They have to try to push for something here. They have to get aggressive. Quackbot trying to get this one here. It's back to Tripwire, who sends it right back in. Ignite just have to play keep away. They don't even need to score, but that's a huge pinch.
Ooh.
And that one just almost going on target. I think it was on target, but the save will go away.
Oh,
Quackbot can't get the shot, but C-Money can. And C-Money steps up huge, making it happen. And we do get a tie game before it is over.
I honestly think we're the best casters when it comes to predicting merely. We literally said these two players would step up, and look where we are now. It is now 1-1 with 20 seconds left. And, you know, merely, I think this one's going to overtime. Let's keep the predictions rolling.
We'll have to see. That's a near miss there from Ignite. Not a toot our own horn, but those are some pretty good predictions. Let's see how the rest of the game pans out. Is this one barely off target, but that pinch was huge. The double commit from Whelps. There could be another shot here. It will get 50'd out, and that should be it. Actually, it will be kept up. This is Rocket League moment. Is that one centered? But it won't amount to much. A little bit of nervousness on the side of both the Whelps and Ignite there at the end, and now heading into overtime. Anyone's game once again. Doesn't look like it's going to come down to a kickoff goal this time, and now I am even more unsure than ever who this favors right now, Charles.
No, it looks like it could go either way. These teams look like absolute clones of each other right now. I could not tell you who is going to score this next goal, but what I can tell you is this is going to be one heck of a thriller, and I think it's going to be a defensive battle to the very end.
It just might be. There has been a lot of defensive works in this entire series. Tripwire there trying to throw a wrench in the defensive rotations of Whelps, and here comes LNR Vita getting the air dribble, but it's blocked away by Grebsy. He's had a read on these for quite a while now. Not letting LNR Vita get what he wants, not giving him the space he desires. This one slowly coming through. The flick is high, but good patience from Ignite. Not rushing in. Keeping a good head on their shoulders. Here comes Tripwire sending this one towards net. And LNR Vita just narrowly avoids the redirect. The Whelps almost redirect it for him, and here comes C-Winks. The shot not quite good. And now Quack will have a 1v1. Can he keep it on top? He just needs a flick. Won't be able to send it past, but the pressure for Whelps is palpable. C-Wink has to make a save. There's another shot coming through. Tripwire trying to rush this one home. That's awkward on the goal line. C-Money barely makes the save, and I do not know what we are seeing here. This is absolute pandemonium all of a sudden.
My heart is racing at 1,000,000 miles per hour right now. I don't know what's going to happen next. And I will say, these teams look like they're in a boxing match. They're trading blows left and right to each other. It's just who can land that final knockout punch that I think seals it, and it's gonna be Vita on the Ignite side of the ball.
And who else but the man himself, LNR Vita. He had the 4-goal game, got a little bit quiet, and he's back just in time to win the series for Ignite. Beautiful display there. A thriller through and throughout, but Ignite managed to get the dub. Such a close effort from Whelps, but it just wasn't quite enough.
My room got 10 degrees hotter in that game. I was sweating a little bit, to be honest with you, merely. That was probably, you know, I know Game 7 grand finals for Novice, you know, Ignite Whelps won Game of the Year last year. And, you know, we should just have these teams face off more often. It's absolute classics every time. And, you know, Ignite pull it out again, but Whelps, oh my gosh, just such a great roster you guys have. I'd be so proud if I was on the Whelps team. I mean, you guys looked absolutely incredible, and shout out C-Money, you know, shout out C-Money for really putting his team on his back there towards the end, you know, the prediction by merely, but you know, that whole roster, I mean, you have Quack, who just looked absolutely crazy. And Game 1 just popped off, put the team on his back, and Game 2 just it was Grebsy who put the team on his back, and that last game it was C-Money, but overall just absolute classic from these two.
I might need a second to bring my heart rate down. But one
Yeah.
more shout out to the Whelps, actually. We didn't mention it before the stream, got a little bit caught up in the hype, but Quackbot, thank you for the 8 month subscription. You know, I'm sorry that we couldn't see you get the dub today. I think you deserved it. I haven't seen you play Rocket League in a long time, but I am very excited to see what you are going to do with this season because that was an excellent display. And with some good teammates on your side as well, I think you guys are really going to do some damage. A great look from both teams here. Obviously, we could go on and on about what we just saw. Just a fantastic series. I couldn't be more grateful that that's the first series I get to cast this season. I hope there's a lot more like him.
Yeah, same here.
But with that said, we will be going to a short break before we come back for our last series of the night. We will be heading into the Challenger League, where the Bishops face off against the Raptors. Got another Grand Finals rematch there. Raptors taking the victory last season against the Bishops in convincing fashion. Bishops will be looking for a little bit of revenge. So stay tuned, guys. You won't want to miss it. It might even be another one like this one. Who knows at this point? But we will be back after just a short break. Thank you guys so much. Been a pleasure. We'll catch you on the flip.